Hey, basketball coaches, players, and fans, today I am going to be breaking down the Miami Heat 2-3 zone defense. Now, the one thing that the Miami Heat do extremely well is to cut off the high post. The high post is an area of a zone that is extremely weak, and today I am going to be breaking down why their 2-3 zone is so tough to beat. Okay, so first here what we have is their 2-3 zone. We've got their 3 players at the back, and from there they actually start their 2-3 zone most of the time as a 1-1-3 zone. We have a player at the point, and then we have a player at the free throw line. Now, when they run through this play, the wing players, the corners, whatever you want to call them, they tend to play super high. And at some points in time, you could actually call this a 1-3-1 zone. It's almost like if they switch between a 2-3 zone and a 1-3-1, which is an extremely rare style of defense. It's almost like if we're watching Nick Nurse coach the Miami Heat because, well, as we all know, Nick Nurse likes to pull off some crazy zones. So from there, what happens is the initial player up top, he is defending that player, and that wing player comes up to also to defend and cut off any drives. Now, why does this happen? Well, there's no other offensive players in his area, so he might as well pop up and help up. Now, as soon as that player is able to defend that point player, and there is a player who starts going down into that corner player's zone, what happens is if there is a player who is an extremely strong center, somebody like Tice, or somebody in this case like Embiid, they tend to double that player in that low post if there's no wing player out on that wing. So if you're a team who's going up against another team who runs this style of zone defense, you could add another wing player over here to free up your superstar big. So from there, we have Jimmy Butler and what looks to be Duncan Robinson. Now, from up here, what we're going to have now is the Sixers. They're going to try and reverse that ball. But the other thing that every single 2-3 zone should do, and a lot of coaches don't coach it this way, is to create a wall up top. The wing players then move up and defend the high post, leaving the main center down in the low post, defending the key. We have now changed that 2-3 zone from that started as a 1-1-3 that then changed into a 1-3-1 that is now a 2-3, has now changed into a 2-2-1 zone defense. See how they're switching this defense. This is not how a regular youth basketball team runs a 2-3 zone. We could actually learn quite a lot from how the Miami Heat are running this zone. So now we have a wall up top. In a 2-3 zone, you try to have 2 players up top who are trying to force the ball handler towards the sideline. So now they have a pass into the high post, and because that wing player is playing extremely high, I'm going to tell you right now, a few ways that you can beat a zone defense is to pass the ball into the high post, to attack the gaps between the zones and kicking the ball out, or by attacking the gap and getting the ball into the key, which collapses the defense so that you can kick the ball out to the perimeter for 3-point shots. They're stopping the gap attack up top. By bringing the wing defenders in, they're able to cut off any high post passes, and because of that, they're able to get that steal. So here we have another 2-3 zone, and this time we have a screen on the outside, and now what looks to be Hero pops up, not to contest a shot, but just to make it difficult for that player to decide if he wants to take that shot or to drive or to send up a lob pass to this player who's cutting baseline. Now from there, he's able to defend both by staying right in the middle. He's able to defend that screen and roll. He's able to defend the lob pass over top to that player. And by that player now fighting through that screen, you always want to try and fight through screens. And I'm going to call that a moving screen myself because, like, look how he's moving. Now, they use that screen again, and those two players have now cut off that attempt of a screen and roll. They have now doubled the ball handler, and now this ball handler now tries to cut down the middle, and he's cut off again. This is how a 2-3 zone should be ran. It should be ran with the top two players not allowing any cuts down the middle. They don't want this. That happens, it creates openings in the wings because it collapses the wings in. By attacking the middle, it also allows the corner players to cut baseline for easy lobs or bounce passes in. And you don't really want that. So they're able to cut that off. Now, when that player tries to drive and do a reverse behind his back over, they're still able to cut that off. Now, what could have happened if he was smart was to take one dribble in that direction, come to a jump stop, and pass that ball out to this player. But something that Miami doesn't necessarily do all the time, but they do it quite often, is if there was a pass out, that defender would then pop up. So he would pop up. He would then pop out to guard his position. Tyler Hero would then become the center in the middle. And this player would then pop down and he would pop over. They would all swing a position. This is how you would play a very advanced zone defense. If there's a zone that's open and you take it, somebody needs to fill, and you would fill in the same direction all the way around. Now, I hope that this video has helped you understand how the Miami Heat run the 2-3 zone defense. If you have enjoyed today's video, hit that like button and subscribe, and I'll see you guys again next time.